Iran's leader orders an attack on Israel for Hanukkah killing. Officials say Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah ordered a retaliation after a humiliating security failure as Iran once again bounces, showing strength against the risk of escalation. I'm here to tell you that escalation in the Middle East is getting worse by the hour. Somebody's going to war with Iran, whether it be America or Israel. War in the Middle East is escalating. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to cause oil prices to go up. And you're not hearing that from anybody in the news because they're trying to keep a tight lid on this. I mean, if you watch the recent news about Jerome Powell, where our interest inflation has dropped from 7% and now we're down to 2.5%. And the job reports and things that are happening are better than what we expected. But if you fart in the wrong direction, it's going to undo everything that they did. If oil prices went to $150 a barrel, you could kiss interest rates ever dropping. So the left is doing whatever they can to keep this under wraps, okay? And so I love what Elon Musk posted. Just did a search for Trump rally on Google, and Kamala was the top result, okay? You see here, Kamala Harris rally at Atlanta. That didn't make any sense, Google. What the heck? Well, they control everything we search, social media, everything we say. They are under control, and they have this massive artificial intelligence. They could read all data, everything that is happening in the world, every news outlet, everything that's happening, and they can control, using AI, they can control what's being posted on every social media platform, YouTube, you name it, to control the price of a barrel of crude. Because oil causes inflation, okay? And there was a time when we only had 150 million volume trades for oil, and now we're at 1.3 billion, okay? Now, look at oil prices. Now, in the 1980s and early 2000, if Iran made these kind of threats, oil prices would go to $100 a barrel in a second, okay? Look at these prices. WTI crude, $76 a barrel. Brent crude is $80 a barrel. How do you say oil prices are manipulated without saying oil prices are manipulated? I mean, this is crazy, okay? And so if you haven't watched my other videos, you don't understand how oil is priced. I'll be really quick and simple. 80% of the world's oil supply is controlled and priced by stock exchange, and two of them, two stock exchanges, the New York Stock Exchange and the Intercontinental Exchange. Those control 80% of the world's oil prices. And the biggest companies that control the prices, I'll mention three: BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. Very woke companies. They are controlled by ESG, and they submit to oil anti-agendas. They hate oil. And imagine being in the Middle East and the very product that you sell is controlled by a woke agenda. And all of the news media is in on it. They're not speaking from their freedoms. They're speaking based upon an agenda. And it's all to control the narrative, and it's all to control oil prices, and it's all to control the economy, okay? Look, they don't have to tell us the truth. They really don't. There's no law or anything that says, hey, we have to tell the truth to the people that are watching television. Look, the news is just actors saying whatever the heck they want to say, and they have a script, okay? And what if this script, what if the economy really isn't doing that well? What if inflation is in fact at 10%? What if the job reports are half of what they're saying? What if oil demand is much higher than what they're saying, okay? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you could have your own stock and have only 10 people buying it, and you could lie to them and say, hey, this is the best stock in the world, and they all buy it. And then the stock goes up. But there's no real company. It's an empty shell, and there's nothing going on. That's called pump and dump schemes. I mean, it happens all the time. Look, this is a massive pump and dump scheme. I'm telling you that right now. Oil prices are oil is being shorted. The economy is not doing as well as what they're saying. Here's the deal. The truth is coming. Okay? What's happening in the Middle East? I'm telling you right now, they're trying to reduce it to not being that serious, but I'm here to tell you there's a war breaking out in the Middle East, and it's going to get worse. Oil prices are going to escalate. But here's the deal. BRICS is organized. Do not believe what the media is saying about BRICS. that they're not that organized. China is, they can't get their economy together. They can't figure it out. Look, their GDP is over 4% and ours is at 2%. India's GDP is at 6.8%. They're a very intelligent race. They're a very intelligent country. They're the only ones that were the most insulated from what Biden calls the Putin price hike. They're the most well insulated from that price hike because they didn't listen to the woke agenda. They thought with their own reasoning. Okay. In the world, many people, many countries are doing business with China because they're tired of being lectured by a woke country like America. They're tired of the lectures. They're tired of saying, hey, you need to shut down your fossil fuel plants. Hey, you need to reduce the amount of oil you're using. Hey, you need to use green energy. If I had my own country and I was the leader, I'd be like, shove it up your ass. I think you're full of crap. And I'm much rather use what works versus the BS that you're shoving down my throat. In many countries, give it a lip service publicly. They go to the rallies and the meetings and they say rah, 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 but their checkbook says something different. I'm telling you right now, these countries are using oil. And the demand for oil amongst China and India alone, it's going to grow substantially. I mean, imagine if they have about 2.6 billion people, almost 3 billion people between the both of them, and their GDPs are both well over 4%, and they are growing. If they use as much oil per person as America did, their demand combined would be over 160 million barrel a day demand. They could use more oil than the entire world combined. And the West is very afraid of this, which is why they're lecturing. Hey, don't use all that oil. Don't do what we did. Yes, we're a superpower. Yes, we're the most powerful country in the world. Yes, we're the richest nation in the world. And yes, we did it with cheap, abundant oil. Cheap, abundant energy is the reason why we're the richest people in the world. But you need to do what we did, but with green energy. I know, yes, we've spent $5 trillion and it didn't really reduce the demand for oil. In fact, it hurt our economy. In fact, we have a tremendous amount of inflation because of it, and we're going bankrupt because we tried to do the green energy transition way too quickly. But listen, don't build fossil fuel plants. Stop selling gas-powered cars. Get off oil. Listen, nobody's buying that BS. Nobody believes it. India's demand is growing substantially. China's oil demand is going to start growing. Iran is going to war. He's making threats. Israel's trying to suck us into war with Iran. The deep state wants to go to war with Iran. I'm here to tell you guys that oil prices are going up, and it's in BRICs is going to do whatever it takes to cause them to go up, because fundamentally speaking, oil should be over $100 a barrel, and it's not. Imagine being Saudi Arabia, Russia, the UAE, that every time you sold a barrel of oil, the West was the one that was controlling that price. But the reason why they could control the price is because of US dollar. Everyone that buys oil is using the US dollar on a SWIFT system. That's why they could sanction people. And so imagine if you built a system that you could control the price that you sold your product for, and a system that you are not sanctioned anymore, and a system that you don't lose money on the exchange. Because every time Russia, Saudi Arabia, India buys a barrel of crude on the SWIFT system, they have to convert their dollars to US dollars. And they lose money on that transition. Imagine a system to where they have their own system called BRICs. They sell their oil at the price they want to sell it at, in the currency that they want to sell it in, without the risk of being sanctioned. Imagine that. And I'm telling you right now, they are going to sell their, and see, here's the thing. 80% of the world's oil supply is sold in Brent and WTI prices. So if Saudi Arabia wanted to sell to the West when oil is at $80 a barrel for Brent, I'm going to sell it to you for $85 or $90 a barrel. They can't do that. Say, why would I do that when I could buy it from these guys for 80? They'll buy it for less, but not for more. But if you organize BRICs where 45 million barrels of oil is controlled each day by an organized group called BRICs, and they choose the price that they sell those 45 million barrels of oil, now you have control. Now OPEC doesn't have to reduce the amount of oil that they sell. Now they don't lose market share. BRICs controls the price of a barrel of crude. Now they're becoming even more abundance and wealth. Okay. All right, guys, I'm Sean Pruitt, president of Kingdom Exploration. If you are interested in this channel, please subscribe. If you're interested in investing in oil and gas, please look at my description below. I'd love to talk to you and teach you about the oil and gas industry. I'm telling you, there's never been a better time to be in the oil business. The commodity, as like oil, keeps you insulated from the U.S. economy because it's a global commodity. And with the growth of India and the demand for India growing, I think it's a good place to be right now. All right, guys, I'm Sean Pruitt, president of Kingdom Exploration, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.